Oh, now, brown cow. The
We are
arsonist has
here.
oddly shaped feet. What?
What? Huh?
Are you
What are you talking about?
recording?
Yeah, I'm recording. It
Oh,
started. It's
I
supposed
was
to
doing
start.
my voice exercises, getting ready. Like
Yeah, you don't do voice exercises,
I,
Clint.
I
You don't.
don't,
You don't.
I don't. I was actually doing a line from Anchorman,
In
with
fact,
Ron
in
Burgundy.
fact, you're the type of guy that does no warm-ups at all,
Yeah,
right?
I am.
It's like I remember in football, like stretching, like why are we doing this?
Yeah, like
Like I'd be over there like trying to get all my muscles. Like I'm the type like I'm like Woody Harrelson on White Men Can't Jump. I'm over there doing Jane Fonda stuff, right?
yeah,
Like I got to stretch out before I get out of bed in the morning.
yeah,
But Clint's like one of those guys. Like I'll stretch when I'm hurt.
yeah. One of my favorite lines, I think it was John Daly. They asked John Daly about stretching. He goes, "You can't pull fat."
That's right. Maybe that's why it takes me so long to warm up, is I'm just trying to stretch something that ain't there. I don't
There, that's yeah, yeah. It's like
know.
yeah, it's like I'm gonna suck whether I'm stretched out or not. So,
But you know what is there, Clint?
what is there?
And you know how people need to prepare for this podcast right now?
Travis, you should tell them right now. Tell
I
them. Tell
think
them.
people need to prepare. Look, stretching, that's good and all.
Yeah,
But liking,
liking a podcast. This podcast of all
liking,
of them.
subscribing to the podcast, whether it's on
Ooh, that sounds
YouTube,
fun.
Apple, Spotify, subscribe to it so you get reminded of it every
YouTube,
time one comes out.
Travis's Farmers Only account.
Yeah, that too. Go follow us on all the social
Yeah.
medias. We're on the TikTok. We're on the Facebook. We're on the. It might be under Big C Bigger T podcast. It's like getting that changed over. So I don't. I can't figure out how to
Yeah,
do all that.
technology.
But
Zuckerberg,
and
that
then
old rascal.
share, and then share,
Share it with the people.
because just like I would try to get you to stretch sometimes when we were in high school football. I don't know if I ever did, but let's just say I did.
Yeah, no, people did.
I was kind of bossy,
Yeah,
whatever.
you were bossy. I
So,
man, I phoned that in. I mean, I
but
phoned stretching in like
but I did it because I cared, Clint.
you cared. And
I
caring
cared.
is
And
sharing.
sharing is caring. And so you get on your book face and your X or your Instagram or your TikTok or whatever and just
MySpace.
in MySpace. I still got a great theme song for my page. I'm sure it's like a 70s rock song. But anyway, and just share and share away. Okay? But in the meantime, while you're doing that,
Yeah, y'all should listen to Sean Michelle. Sean Michelle.
listen to music and then we'll see you back here in just a second.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you a change is made. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change is made. Lord changes me. My Lord changes me. Can you hear me now? Church, can you hear me now? Ever seen a broken heart made whole? Ever seen an orphan find a home? Ever seen the weak find the strength? I promise you a change is made. Ever seen the sick get healed? Ever seen a miss?
What's up, everybody? It's time. It's time for the Hawg Slop podcast. I'm your boy, Bigger T. Joined as always by my man, Big C, Clint Clark from Victoria, Texas. How you doing, man?
Beautiful Victoria, Texas, the coastal Bend area. They canceled school, Travis, because it was cold.
Well,
It was cold.
it's funny on the radio. I listen to the Buzz a lot, and well, because I can't really get any other local.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a station I can get Chuck and Bo's show, but I like the Buzz. But anyway, I was listening to it the other day, and I was driving, and Justin Acree and them were talking about, and they were griping because they're like, these kids need to go back to school. One guy called in and said, can you? He goes, let me tell you what I've been dealing with. He said, four teenage boys out of school that I've had to had to entertain for all these snow days for a whole week. He said, finally, I just took him to Planet Fitness and said, we're going to get some of this energy out. So he
You
said
know,
it's something constructive, I guess.
I really, as you were saying that, what I really developed a case of right there is pity for Sue Clark.
Yeah.
For whenever she had Clint and Paul in the house just nonstop.
Yeah. Well, in my
Yeah,
house, I hated staying home because that mean like I had a list of things I had to do if I stayed
right.
home. So like
I
I
would
didn't
probably,
like,
honestly, I probably just bullied Paul. Let's just
yeah.
be honest.
So I didn't have that option. So like I didn't fake sick. I was like, yeah, I can go to school because if I didn't, my mom always had write it. She'd take like an old piece of mail, like an old like a bill envelope or something, and
Right.
she'd leave it on the counter. And she's like, since you're home, do clean this, wash this, do like all these different stuff. Yeah,
Poor guy.
I know
I feel like, you opened up a wound right
it
here.
was a hard knock life.
You know, talk about looking back at childhood.
Yeah.
So, so Eli Manning went back and did a movie review, like a watch along
Hmm.
to the program. And I can't remember the guy's name. Played halfback at Yale, I believe. Um, I can't remember the guy's name, but he had a guy from, I think, from the NFL Network watching it with him.
Yeah.
And you know what, Travis? I don't want to. I would go back and watch the movie, but I don't want to
Yeah.
because back in the day, that's like one of my favorite movies. Of course, that came
Oh,
out.
when you were getting ready to go to Arkansas Tech, you
Yeah,
had Rudy and the program on rotation, right?
right. I
Like
don't
at
remember
all times. Like,
Yeah, it's like one of my
and they were
favorites.
probably on VCR tape, right?
They were on VCR tape.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think actually my parents bought me the copy from the video store in Greenbrier.
Nice. Yeah.
I almost when it was going out of
So
business, they
it had
went. So
probably been rented by half a Greenbrier, and then
yeah,
you
and
got it.
I'd rented it probably a dozen times.
Yeah.
Um, so I own. That's how I had the tape. I'm not going to go back and rewatch the movie now as an adult because I want to remember how it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I know it's not going to hold. Like I went back and watched The Waterboy, and to me, it didn't hold up. Like it's still
Yeah.
funny, but it wasn't as good as I
Yeah.
remember. That's not knocking The Waterboy; it's still a fantastic movie. But it's just like I want to remember it how it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's kind of like, and that's why I don't want to go back and watch it again, Travis. But you know what I thought? Because I said to you, say what we ought to do is we ought to pick a bad sports movie
Hmm.
and me and you do an honest review of it.
Yeah.
And I had suggested No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan.
Mhm.
And we were like, you know what? That's why should we pick the movie?
Yeah.
Like, I would be, what do you guys think? What sports movie here that is marginally entertaining, could be just downright bad, would you like for us to go back and watch and
Yeah.
give a review, give a talk, Trav? What do you think?
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Just tell us. I mean, I want to hear something that's different. Okay. I've seen a lot of sports movies,
Yeah,
and don't throw out some that just that no one else thinks is bad, but you think is bad.
right.
Get
And don't
something
be
you're
telling me to
like,
watch Brian's song. I cry enough.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it. And
Yeah.
don't make it a sad one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, and look, okay, yeah, some remakes of things like you may not like, which I thought the remake of The Longest Yard was pretty good.
I thought it was
But
good.
but some people may say something like, come on, give us something, give us something, you know,
Yeah,
like no holds barred. And it doesn't have to be like. Here's one that I haven't seen in forever that could be that, and it Air Up There with Kevin Bacon. You remember that one?
you know what? I don't even remember I know the movie, but I haven't
He's
seen the
he's
movie.
like a basketball coach or agent or
Yeah,
something like that, and he goes to Africa and finds this guy that's like an amazing basketball
yeah.
player in a village or something. And anyway, and he like has to play there. Anyway, that but I haven't seen it in forever. So like at the time, anything with basketball in it, I was watching it, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
But it may be just a super bad, and you think about it, that's a weird concept, right? So anyway, give us some ideas, folks.
Yeah.
Comment on YouTube, Facebook, wherever.
Yeah, some stuff just doesn't hold up. Like
Yeah.
there's some things that I'm sure that we thought was great back in the day. Like if you watch like Independence Day, like back in the day, cutting edge technology, the
Oh yeah.
best.
Yeah.
So you watch that now, it is dog crap.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
same thing with the original Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like in the back of the day, you're like, whoa.
Uh,
Now you're like,
well, that was one of the problems with the whole like second round of the Star Wars movies, right? Because at the 70s when we were babies, when the Star Wars movies came out, they were awesome as far as graphics and stuff like that.
yeah,
But then like the ones that were supposed to be happening years before the original three, the prequels, had
right,
better graphics and seemed more realistic than the ones that happened. You know what I mean? Like you can't, it's kind of like it. Better Call Saul was a prequel of Breaking Bad. Well, they
right,
did
yeah,
a lot of it in, like he would do, some black and white, and it was filmed very similar, and so it didn't change a lot. And so that's anyway. So anyway, folks, that's enough movie talk. But anyway, so let us know. Uh, Now, Clint, I think you have a
I
holy
have a
shnikes
holy snack,
moments.
and we
We
haven't
haven't.
done one
Yeah,
in a coon's age. I think is what they
that's
would
right.
say,
Yeah,
Travis. That's what
that's
they say
right. Or
down in
as
the
the kids would
holler.
say, in a minute.
Yeah. So we ain't done one in a bit. It's been a month of Sundays, as they would say. Travis, I was on the internets. I was on the social media. And I kept seeing this clip, and I'm like, it is so ridiculous. This could not have actually happened. And anyway, it turns out it was true. So a boxer, there was a boxing match.
Hmm.
Jarrell Miller gets his toupee literally knocked off his head. Like, have you seen the clip,
I
Travis?
haven't. I heard it was mentioned on the radio the other day, but on a national sports
I
radio.
mean, you need to Google it, Trav, because right there it is. The man, well, it's blending in right there. It's right. It's not clean off his head. Clean off his head. And like apparently I haven't seen this part. I haven't researched it, but apparently he gets ripped off and thrown in the crowd.
You imagine having a front row seat to get that land in your lap.
Trav, I've done a couple Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu super fights. I'm going to tell you, they're terrifying. And my first one I ever did, I was literally going against this guy. He looked like a bigger, thicker version of Kimbo Slice.
Oh wow.
I was sitting there, um, super nice guy, by the way. Terrifying, but super nice. I'm sitting there talking to my coaches, and they're like, and I said, yeah, that's my opponent. And they go, what made you think that was a good idea? I'm like, I didn't see him when I agreed to take the match.
Yeah.
And then the guy who was mostly my training partner, Matt Jameson. He was like, because I don't do these things. I didn't go in against a guy like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's my opponent tonight. And he was just like, okay, I'm sorry. And so but I'm walking to the ring, Travis, and I overthink all this stuff. I'm like, my interest music is stupid. That's all I'm thinking about. I've got this large man up there going to try to kill me.
Yeah.
And I'm just the entire time I've talked myself out. If my toupee had got it knocked off, and I don't wear a toupee, if I did, it'd be better than this crap. But it would be. But if my toupee had got knocked off, something like that had happened to me, I would have just been done. I would have quit.
Yeah.
I would have I went to the bathroom and had a good cry.
Yeah.
Um, like, like I'm gonna be a meme.
Well, first of all, like who does something like boxing, jiu-jitsu, whatever, where you're gonna have people grab your head, hit your head,
Yes,
and you wear a toupee? Like, go bald, dude. Just give in. Just go bald.
or embrace it. I mean, part of the reason I don't shave my head is because I'm too lazy. And but at no point am I going to dye my hair.
Yeah.
Like it's going to happen. And I didn't want to get off on this tangent, but some of these folks that get the plastic surgery enough,
Yeah.
just stop,
That's right.
stop. Like Kenny Rogers got a new head, Travis.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Kenny Rogers,
Yeah.
like, look, I'm secure enough in my masculinity. I can tell you, if Kenny Rogers had just went old gracefully, he'd have been a good looking old cat.
That's right.
But instead, he's got a new head.
That's right. Yeah.
And Burt Reynolds did the
There's lots
same
of folks.
thing.
Yeah. There's lots of
Yeah.
folks who did that.
Jerry Jones, Josh Brolin's old man, James Brolin. There's
Yeah.
a good looking cat. Just grow old.
Yeah.
You're not going to see Big C getting no facelift.
No, no, sir.
No, sir, Reed Bob. You're going to
Nope.
see, you know what? Travis is going to turn 50 here in what, 3 months?
Something like that. Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn 50 in 4 months, and you're going to see this. You're going to see us keep
Right.
seeing us get older. I look back because we've been doing this for like 200 and something podcasts now.
232, I think.
232. So we're going like, yeah, 232. And I'm not going to get any work done.
That's
Just
right.
me.
Yeah. That's right.
I'm gonna,
Yeah.
but I do look back at like number one, go, man, my hair was fuller.
Yeah. Well, Clint, let's get into some Razorback basketball. That's what's going on right now. Enough hair and facelift talk, I guess, for now.
Yeah. Maybe we'll revisit in a couple of years.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But well, Razorbacks last week. I can't remember. Of course we had Otis Kirk on last week. Big thanks to Otis Kirk for coming on. That was a lot of fun having him. Good conversation with him. If you hadn't watched that episode, go back and watch it. But Arkansas goes to Oklahoma, and like we've done on the road, didn't play well, and got a little scary. Clint, it got a little scary at Oklahoma.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, Oklahoma was just a team that you're better than.
Yeah, they lost 6 straight, I believe.
Yeah. The fans are chanting Fire Porter Mosier at games.
Yeah.
Just it's
And-
not it's,
And our fan, like we had more fans, like our fans took over in that game. Like I saw some videos of some Oklahoma fans were talking about how Razorbacks took over their gymnasium that time. So, that was but what you like to see, look, and here's the deal. And a lot of people griped about that. They're like, well, we shouldn't have been, we shouldn't have had that happen to, Oklahoma. They're a bad team. We should have beat them worse and all that kind of stuff. Folks, any road SEC win is a good win. Okay.
yes, sir.
It may not be pretty, but any road SEC win, I don't care if it's, like against them, one of the worst teams in the league. You count it, you chalk it up, because this is a good league. Okay. And Oklahoma has good athletes. Porter Mosier is a good coach, no matter what Oklahoma fans think about it. I mean, don't you agree, Clint?
No, I know. Porter Mosier's I mean, he had Loyola Chicago in the Final Four.
Yeah.
And
that was because what was that nun's name?
Sister Jean. But I mean, but he had them back, in the tournament. He had them. I mean, you don't compete at the level Porter does unless you're a good coach. I mean, the problem is SEC may not be what it was last year in basketball, but man, it has been a couple. It's a hard league to win in, and you may get somebody in there and get a better NIL situation or something like that. They can get a better, more talented roster. Really, I mean that's what sports is now. You got to have a good enough coach, but you also have to have the funds to attract the roster to get a good one. And he just doesn't have it. And Arkansas was just a better basketball team, and they struggled, but I mean they were the more talented team, and and sometimes when you don't play your best and you're the more talented team, you can still win ugly, and that's what happened at Oklahoma.
Well, then a struggling Kentucky team comes into Fayetteville. And lots of fans are they're already, okay, Clint, up here. I know you don't get local sports radio, and
Thank goodness. But I
you
can
may be,
imagine. I lived in
but
Arkansas long enough. I know what they're doing.
yeah, it's a lot of you know, this team's a bunch of posers. These transfers aren't as good as we thought they were. The only thing anybody's talking good about is the freshmen still, Malik and Darius. Everyone's griping about, and I get it. I get it. What would you say? What are the deficiencies you see? Were you able to watch the Kentucky game,
I
or what?
watched a little bit of it, and then I didn't want to put myself through a lot of it. But um, man, free throw shooting is one of the things I watched early on. The free throw shooting, and you saw like even I think against Oklahoma, I think Acuff had some opportunities
Yeah,
to expand the lead and kind of really put it away, and he missed them. And that was Acuff. That was the freshman everybody's raving about. But I mean, they weren't very good in clutch situations early on
yeah,
at the free throw line. Um, I mean, crap, they give you basically six free throws and you airball the first one. Um,
yeah. That Ewing shooting those free throws, that was interesting to see why Cal picked him to shoot those. Um, I think he picked him to shoot them because he had hit two right before that. And so he thought, okay, he's, one of the coaches on the sideline or whatever, Cal, probably said, okay, he's a hot hand right now at the free throw line.
yeah.
But he airballed one of them. I don't think they showed the second one, but I think he about airballed it too.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, what? I mean, even Cal was like, like, there, here, here's what's encouraging, though, to me through the game. And like, look, I watched a good bit of it. Um, because I skipped around to golf to go to watch the game, and unfortunately, I wish I'd played golf. But they were getting some good looks. They're getting open looks. They
Yeah.
just weren't going in. Um, and more often than not, when they get some of the looks they got, they're going to go in. It was Kentucky's Super Bowl. I mean, it just was. It was
Yeah.
going to Coach Cal. They're struggling. They came in and they kind of you had the opportunity to put the nail in Cal's coffin, and
Yeah.
he rose up on you last year like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
But so I get it, and I get all of it. I get
Well, Clint, I think the biggest struggle I think we see right now with this team and the thing they got to fix the most. Okay. This to me, this is, if you fix this, what I'm about to say, and I've already talked about it on here, but I'm going to bang the drum again. But I've talked about it and other things. But I think if you fix this, you're going to win most of the rest of your games. And they're going to probably win most of the rest of their games anyway, just because they're talented enough. Okay. I still think this team, Cal is not building this team. And I heard Mike Irwin say this today on one of his podcasts on YouTube I watched. And I totally agree with him. And I've been saying it, but he said it more conclusive than what I normally say. Cal's not building this team to win the SEC. He's building this team to win in the tournament. Okay. That's the goal. That's what he's building for. And a lot of people are questioning some things about why is Richmond not playing more? Why is Ewing not playing more? And some of it, I think, is because he knows, because he saw Carter Knox last year. Okay. Carter Knox isn't giving us exactly what we want, but Carter Knox got better as the year went on. And he's trying to build him up because he needs Carter Knox at the end of the season to be the Carter Knox plus some that he was at the end of the season last year. Okay. If he can get that Carter Knox along with Acuff and Malik Thomas are doing, okay. And also he needs to get, but here's the one thing that if they fixed right now, if he could, Cal's more of an offensive coach. He tends to, that's kind of what he's thought of more than anything, right? But our interior defense is killing us. The problem is, and the thing that's so frustrating about it is I think the pieces are there. I think the pieces are there to have a good interior defense. Like, look at what Pringle did to us when he was at
Yeah.
South Carolina. Okay. I think Pringle, I think Ewing, I think Brazil have the ability to be good post defensive players. I think they can shut down lanes, but they're not doing it. Whether it's an effort thing, whether it's a not knowing thing, it's whether it's not improper technique. I mean, they show improper technique, but you never know. You never know if improper technique can be a couple things, right, Clint? I mean, it can be you just don't have improper technique, or it also can be effort,
Yeah.
right?
100%. Yeah.
So, whatever it is, to me, that's what. And they don't have a game this week. I think they don't play till Saturday. So to me, that's what. And I think he gave them Monday and Tuesday off, or no, Sunday and Monday off. So they probably started back practice today. Man, they got to work on that defense. They got to work on the defense because I'm seeing really some decent things from the. Besides some, you have mistakes on switches on perimeter defense. So that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
With the athletes you're playing against. But the problems are that post defense, man. We got to get that better. We got to get that better. But that's something you can, if you have the pieces that can do that, if it's just motivation, then coaches can bring that out of them, right? If it's not motivation, if it's just they don't have or you can't motivate them, they're head cases and you can't motivate them, or they just don't have the skill to do it, then yeah, this team's going to underachieve. But I don't think so. I think defense is something and effort is something and working together. And some of that's communication on defense. I think by the end of the year, that's going to come together. I think that's going to grow.
And where are we at in this season, Travis? This is the doldrums. This is the grind, not fun, not sexy part of the season. This is they're in the thick of it. They're in the drudge of it, and it gets nasty and it gets ugly at this time of year. They're probably going to lose another game that they shouldn't before the season's over, and they may win one they shouldn't.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, that's the nature of the team, and Cal says he's not going to change up the way he does things with freshmen and all that. And I checked my basketball resume, which is impressive. Two-time Wooster 3-on-3 champion.
Yeah.
I fouled out in the first half of an intramural game, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just defer to Coach Cal on this one and trust him. But I do think, obviously, you've made up some great points about the defense. What I'm saying about the free throw shooting is factual. What I don't want to see, and this team has the talent to do it. I'm not saying they're going to, but this team has the chance to be in the same situation that a Memphis team was in, coached by John Calipari. John Wall, I believe, was the point guard.
Yeah.
And we could have Darius Acuff and literally miss so many free throws that it cost us the national title.
Yeah.
Missed free throws cost Cal a national title at Memphis. It's facts.
Yeah.
So they've got to get that done. It's got to get better.
All right. Well, Clint, also, anything else on basketball you wanted to bring up?
No, I'm good there, bud.
Okay. Couple of things. Also this week we got to hear a little bit from good old what's our baseball coach's name?
Dave Van Horn.
Dave Van Horn. I
mean, what's the man got to do to get you to remember his name?
I know, isn't that terrible? Anyway, Van Horn spoke this week a couple times to the press, and once, I guess, to a big some kind of like a club up there or something. They said he did a really good job with that. Uh, but we kind of got an idea of, and then through some other stuff, uh, we're kind of getting an idea of what the lineup's going to look at like this year. Of course, just to kind of go through it a little bit, in case you haven't heard, folks, to talk about some of these guys a little bit. The star, I mean, the guy offensively of the team that's probably going to be the leader offensively and on the field, probably the best player on the team, Ryder Helfrich at catcher.
Oh yeah,
That
100%.
that's
All
where this
American.
that's where this team will start. He'll we're looking for great things from him. Another one is at first base. We're probably looking at Robinette.
Yeah,
Will be
returning starter.
will be the first baseman there more than likely. Um, he's one of those kids that, man, he's got a great on base percentage. He seems to be clutch and a great uh in the locker room and everything else. Um, the another one, the second base is a little up in the air. It's probably going to be our boy Cam Kozel at the beginning, but you do have Souza that's available. He's the only thing is he's good at bat right now, but his arm is still a little weak from that shoulder surgery. So some people are saying he may DH at the beginning. Um, but they got some other guys they kind of want to work into DH too. But I mean, he's good enough where they may put him at DH.
Yeah.
Um, and so, but you might see Kozel there if
Well,
things.
Robin, that's a great example of that last year because they kept doing the simulated games with the backups and
Yep.
and then Robinette kept grinding. So just because you start there don't mean you're going to finish there. Because Robinette, he got his opportunity last year and then he took a hold of it. So
So probably it'll be Kozel or Souza at the DH, more than likely there. Now, there's other places that Kozel could work in. They're thinking at the beginning it's going to be Brumbaugh at shortstop. He's the freshman, 6'3", 215 from Oklahoma. He's supposed to be really good. Has a good
well,
bat, and
you're not a freshman playing at Arkansas unless you're a big league
yeah,
prospect.
yeah. So he's now I forget who they said at third. Trying to remember that one, but I can't remember. In the outfield, you got Aloy. Van Horn said he's picking up pretty good in the outfield. Of course, we know his bat's good, right? But they're trying to get him outfield play partially so he can make it pro as an
Yeah,
outfield.
yeah. I mean,
It's hard to make it pro as a DH. So they're giving him a shot in outfield. He did well in the Cape this summer or this off season. So hopefully he. Van Horn said he said look, he's a good outfielder. He said he's not gonna he shouldn't hurt us out there. He's not gonna be anything to write home about. Now there's a couple guys in the outfield, probably in center field. This guy's name is let me find it. Micah New, and it's spelled Maikaniu. And he's from New Orleans, Trinity High School, and he transferred from Marshall. This guy's interesting, Clint. He's
okay.
got an awesome bat, 6'1", 190. He's got a great bat, but he played shortstop at Marshall. But he was really bad at shortstop. But he's super athletic. Like he's very athletic. So in the Cape, they moved him to outfield, and he was killing it in the outfield. So he's probably going to be center fielder.
Well, if you're going to play center field, you better be killing it in the outfield.
Yeah. And
Um,
they say he's excellent at stealing bases. So he's excellent on the base path. He's a great leadoff hitter. He's the guy that sets the table for you. So that's something that, that we needed, So that'll be a that'll be a good pickup if we can get him to play that outfield like we want him
yeah.
to. There's some other guys. Tyler Holland is an infielder. Cornelson, Peck, um, Kozel or Souza could end up like at third or short if we needed them to. But anyway, now the big question, of course, is, always is pitching.
But you got to buy. I mean, Gabe Gackle is a bona fide Friday night starter.
Yeah, Gackles for sure. And it's kind of interesting because, um, let me see here. I'm looking through the roster here. It's interesting because Van Horn he said, we're probably going to go righty, lefty, lefty for our three starters. He didn't really say who the two lefties would be. Okay. They're probably going to be either Gibbler, Dietz, or Fisher are the three guys it's going to be two of those. Now, I think they actually feel pretty good about Dietz being the other one, and that Giebler and Fisher may end up being the utility guys that could end up starting some later on too. Yeah. Anyways, that's kind of what the talk is. We'll see this weekend.
Number 5 team in the country, I believe, starting off, Trev.
I think so, yeah. And then February 15th, the first. I'm sorry, not February 15th. February 13th is the first game. Oklahoma State down at Globe Life Field in Arlington.
Yeah.
And
that'll be probably on the what is that, Flow Network that everybody
Flow
drops
College.
about every year.
Yeah.
So
they got Oklahoma State, TCU, and Texas Tech are the three teams. So those will be great teams and regional. So there'll be a lot of fans for both teams there for that. And then February 16th, they'll start with Tarleton State, then a 3-game series against Xavier, couple games against Arkansas State, series against UT Arlington, and a game against Oral Roberts, Stetson, and then March 13th is when they'll start against Mississippi State.
There you go.
So that's what we're looking at with baseball. Hopefully we'll have more as we hear more, as they get into that preseason tournament's always a great time. They're playing great teams.
Yeah.
And it's a great time to see who's good, who's going to be starting, how the pitching rotation. They got a couple guys they're looking at for closers. They got, and this is interesting, Clint, in the transfer portal, he didn't bring in any starting pitchers. Everybody he brought in was relievers because he felt like we had guys already here to be good starters. He felt like
David Horn, once again, I've checked my baseball resume. Yeah. It pales in comparison to David Horn. But Travissimo, I hear there's controversy on the Hill. You were telling me a little bit about it. There's controversy. You tell me about it because I may have some strong feelings about this.
Well, the biggest news, this past week that came out of Fayetteville, besides the fact that Post Malone and Jelly Roll are going to do a concert in Razorback Stadium in July. But that's actually part of this deal. There was a deal with the board of trustees and the whatever else. Okay. A big financial deal. You see, Arkansas under Frank Broyles never took money from anybody besides donations and Razorback foundations and what they made from like TV contracts and stuff like that, right? He wouldn't take a. In fact, last year they gave 4 million back to the school. I think it's 4 million. Like the athletic department has been doing that every year, giving millions of dollars back to the school for the school to invest in whatever books or pencils, I don't know, erasers. But um then what happened the other day was, and here's the controversy part about it, Clint. None of the board knew that this was going to come up for a vote for a meeting that night until the day of. They got an email saying, "Hey, we're going to vote on this tonight." And that was it. Okay. That was it. Like, no, like, hey, not even like a phone call saying, hey, here's the plan, here's what was going to happen. What they decided is that first of all, they're going to quit giving that 4 million. And it's broken down into 3 sections. I don't know I can't remember the exact numbers. Okay. But the school's going to have to give like 4 to 6 million to the athletic. They need to find I think it's 6 million to give to the athletic department. The school does now. Okay. Then, there's Hunter Yurachek has to find another like 5 million to add to the budget of the athletic department. And then the rest of it, of the 15 million or whatever that leave like 4 million. I forget where that's got to come from. Okay. But pretty much they voted to inject another 15 million into the athletic department.
Okay.
Okay. Now here's the ways that they see that this is probably going to happen. And I think they got a month to figure out or something like that on how they're going to do it, or they got some amount of time. For Hunter Yurachek's part, that is probably going to come from, he's probably going to bring up, well, that's going to come from raising the prices of season ticket holders for football.
Right.
They've already done that for basketball. They've already done that for baseball. And already season ticket holders are getting upset.
I get it. I get the seat, and there's no, like you're saying, there's no grandfather in. They're got like, look, here's the price.
Yeah.
Here's what the going rate
and
is.
that's what people are so frustrated about is if you've had the same seats since the 70s, you've been in the past, you were able to keep those for, a menial amount, or kind of, your regular donation. Well, now to get those seats, you got to up your donation quite a bit. So it's pricing a lot of people out.
Well, and it's just, listen, they got to do it.
Yeah.
If you're going to be competitive, you're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
They got, I mean, if you're not going to give them $50,000 donation, they got to get somebody in there who will.
Yeah.
And what do they have to give? That seat, that prime piece of real estate, that whatever 6-inch square that you're going to sit on. Yeah. That's what they have, and they've got to get that because they're not going to talk about firing Hunter Yurachek because you got butthurt and didn't want to donate X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
They're going to donate. They're going to fire him because they're not putting a winning product on the field.
Yeah.
And he's going to have the money to put the winning product on the field. So you can't have it. You can't have it both ways. You just can't.
But if you're a person that's had the same seats for all those years, that would hurt. I mean,
I agree with what I'm never going
saying.
back to another game, but you also got to understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
It's not like they're just doing it because they don't like you or they're mad at you or anything like that. No, that seat's worth that, and you've had it way too long for too cheap.
And it could be argued that they're not doing all they could do to raise funds outside of doing things like that. I think that could be argued very well. But yeah. Now here's the other way. For the university to get the 6 million that they got to give to the athletic department, most people think that's going to come in an athletic fee for every student. So that means if your kid goes to the University of Arkansas, they're saying it'll probably be for the amount of students they have to get that amount. It'll probably be like $175 a student added onto their college bill. Okay. Which in the
I
great
paid
scheme
that at
of
Arkansas
things,
Tech.
yeah. Well, when I was at Ouachita, of course, it was a long time ago, but I mean, I think ours was, I had to pay one and it was like 50, 75, something like that a person. Yeah. So pretty much every other school does that. It's just Frank Broyles always wanted, he didn't want to do that. So it's been a tradition. So some people are complaining about that, but look, 175 bucks on a college bill is not going to make, I mean, it's easy for me to say I don't have a kid going there, right?
And you can go to enough events for free, it would pay for itself.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about football games and basketball games. You can go to women's basketball games, soccer games. You can just get into all of them. Just show your ID. It'll pay for itself.
Yeah.
But there's students that wouldn't be caught dead at a sporting event.
Yeah.
Too. But it's just,
and that's the bad thing is there are people that like don't care about sports. They're there for just the education. They don't want to pay anything but that's something, like I said, every school does it just about. And so
let me ask you a question. How many students are going to drop out of Arkansas because they now have to pay $175 athletic fee? They're not going to lose one stinking student.
Oh, they're going to, I mean, probably this next year, just because of the economy and stuff, they'll probably raise the food prices for, if you got a food plan, will go up more than $175. It probably does every year.
Yeah. So,
anyway. So to me, that's smart. I forget where the other.
Trav, here's the thing: is we can gripe about all these things, the student fee and all this, but they've got to compete. You said that, like, hey, they raised enough money to put us in the upper half of the SEC, and then people were complaining that we're in the upper half of the SEC.
Well, some people think that this money, this 15 million, is money that's already been spent. That they're doing it to try to recoup money that they've already spent this year, and that they're, so it's kind of a after the fact because they wasn't able to raise it like they thought. But hey, now, but here's the other thing about it, Clint. I think the vote was 7-3. The three that were against it were three. At least two of them were two of the most plugged into the Razorback football. One of them was Steve Cox, former Razorback football player. That's an interesting part of this, that someone that, now that may be because he wants to keep doing things the Frank Broyles way.
Right.
And that may be why. I think most of them said they voted against, or at least one or two of them said they voted against it because they didn't like the way it was presented, that they didn't find out about it till the day of, and something that big was put before on the day of the vote instead of something for them to look at and research over, before and to be educate themselves on. So anyway, Clint, so that's the big thing going on. That's the best explanation I can give. There's probably people out there that can give a better explanation of it, but.
Well, I thought you did a fine job. I feel like I'm informed.
Now, Clint, I want to tell you, I'm in my truck a lot driving, and Sunday, after church, I get in my truck, and usually I turn over to like ESPN radio on satellite radio. It's usually what I listen to. Normally like on football Sundays, I'm doing that to, see what's happening with the NFL. But that wasn't talking about NFL, Clint. I think this was this Sunday or was this Saturday that I listened to this? This may have been Saturday. Anyway,
Oh yeah, you were
whenever
telling
it
me they were
was,
talking about they were talking wrestling, huh?
Booker T was one of the
Oh,
hosts. Okay. Booker T was on ESPN radio. And like for a long time, it wasn't just like he was on for a segment. Like he was hosting the show with somebody else.
right, yeah.
And they were talking all things. What was the event? Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, yes, sir.
They were talking all things Royal Rumble. Okay. First of all, ESPN is covering wrestling on their nationwide radio show.
Okay, but you know why that's happening, Travis.
Well, they got they're contracted with them now.
Yeah, they're contracted. They
But
stream their
that's still crazy in itself,
Yeah.
right? But here's the other thing. Who won Royal Rumble?
Roman Reigns.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Booker T lied. Or he didn't know as much as he thought he knew.
Who did he say won?
Because he said, he goes, I'm not going to tell you who wins, but it's going to be a surprise. Somebody you don't expect to win.
Yeah, so, yeah, he definitely lied.
Okay. And so I'm thinking, when I hear that, I'm thinking, wait a second. That means that's like, I'm not going to tell you what's happens this movie, but somebody dies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like when we were growing up, wrestling was like, we knew it was planned out. We knew. I mean, like, okay, once we got old enough, we figured it out. It's like a
My
play.
20s.
It's like a play. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's like a play. It's like a movie. But we were okay with that. But in our minds, still to this day, like if I'm watching wrestling, I'm thinking, man, who's gonna win it? Or like, no idea, right? It's just like watching a movie. I want to get so into that movie, I don't want to think about, oh, it would be better for the script if they did it this way. I want to be in the moment, and everything. But now it's like, yeah, we already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's kind of
No, I've seen it enough. I'll tell Anna. I said, "Here's about what's going to happen." And yeah, it's very rare they get one of
but when
them.
they're on a nationwide radio show and they're acting like they're not even acting like there's suspense to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not even pretending there's any suspense to it. They're like,
Well, there's a lot of guys that make a business, make a living talking wrestling, and Booker
Yeah.
T's one of them.
well, and apparently Booker T didn't know. Okay, so I didn't know who ended up winning, but but the way he was talking on there, it was like, yeah, I've seen the script. I've seen the movie already. I got to see a pre-screening of the movie.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like it was just funny to me. So I was like, man, it's a different world we're living in.
Yeah, definitely so.
So now the last thing I wanted to bring up, Clint, was unless you had something else, was something else I heard on Saturday morning. Or Saturday middle of the day, I was driving, and this was Saturday, and I was turned on the Senior Bowl on the radio.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
Okay. And the announcers were talking. It was right at the start of the game. I was wanting to hear how some of our Razorbacks were doing. And they said, yeah, one of the things we've seen in the last few years is, or recently, I forget how they said it. They said, we had a lot of players leave last night. And so they had to call in replacements for them last minute. So there'll be some guys that haven't practiced all week in the game. Clint, there was, I don't know how many of them, but there were players that practiced all week at the Senior Bowl and didn't stay for the game. Okay. Now I know why they didn't. I understand. They have an agent in their ear. And what's he telling them, Clint?
Oh man, you're going to get hurt. Get out of there. It's just one of them things where it's not right. It's not right. You go out there, you do it, you play the game. It just, I get it. I get why you're doing it, but it's not right.
Well, and here's my argument against that, Clint. there's more of a chance for them to get in the Senior Bowl practices. There's more of a chance for them to get hurt in the practices. Did you watch some of those practices?
Oh yeah, it's
They
intense.
go hard because they got NFL coaches, they got scouts who are at, and I understand. Look, they're getting watched at practice more so than they probably are in the game. Okay, and they're because they're able to see them up close. They're able to put them in some situations, controlled situations. But why would you do that? I mean, why would you?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You're I don't know. Maybe it's a kid thinks he had a good week of practice, but it's one thing to show. Like if I'm Frank Carmona, like, okay, that is an elite level SEC defensive tackle.
Mm,
I mean, even if it's Cam Ball, that is an elite level defensive tackle.
yeah,
And that's not a slot against Cam Ball. But I'm just using him because I know he's over there. He's your teammate. But you two go head to head all practice, okay? And you're just so I practice all week against elite level, and I can get to go show in a game what I can do against an elite level defensive tackle.
yeah,
Maybe who would
yeah.
be another player. But you basically you get and you've lost a chance to show what you can do against an elite level player
Well, and in a game
in a game
situation,
situation.
not in a controlled drill situation. Okay.
No. But
And here and it speaks to a bigger scale. Okay. I saw a video of Tom Brady talking the other day. And he was talking about how he's thankful that the transfer portal wasn't around and that he wasn't the type of person when he was in college. He said he was glad. Was it Drew Henson that was there with him? That
yes.
he had to compete with another elite quarterback in college. He said, because it taught me to stay and fight. He said, because people that aren't willing to stay and fight and just want to transfer, they're not going to stay and fight for their job. They're not going to stay and fight for their family. They're learning lessons to where if things get bad, I'm just going to give up and walk away. Now that's a overall. I know that's a dramatic statement I just said, okay, but you know what I'm saying. It's teaching people not to stay in the fight. It's teaching people not to face the suck and to get past it and to work your way out of a hole. That's part of life. Part of life is facing tough times and getting out of it. And we got a whole generation of these athletes that are being told by the adults in the room, these agents and parents or whatever, hey, you're not getting enough playing time, man. Instead of staying and trying to earn that playing time, man, just this other school will give you some more playing time. Just go to them.
I mean, you're right. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know. See it getting better. So
Yeah.
unfortunate. But I appreciate the sermon there, Reverend.
If everybody would listen to Coach Cal about the transfer rules, I agree with him on that. Anyway, well, Clint, I guess that's it, man. We talked enough.
We did another one, 259. I don't know. It's 230 something.
It's
so.
232 or 233, one of those.
Yeah, it's one of those, somewhere in the 230s.
Folks, like, share,
Somewhere
comment.
we'll never be in the 230s.
Yeah. That's right. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things. Don't forget, tell us what movies we need to watch. Okay, bad sports movies. Only the bad ones or the ones that didn't age well. Whatever. Uh, you know, and look, don't
We
give
will
us
do a review on this podcast of that movie.
and don't give us the whole look. I've gone down the rabbit hole on Remember the Titans. It's one of my favorites of all time. Yes, I know that they got the true story way off, that there was a lot of stuff that was inaccurate in it, and that hurt my heart when I found that out. So besides that, don't do that kind of stuff to us, okay?
Yeah, don't do that.
We want to see bad acting. We want to see bad acting. We want to see rough sports
Yeah.
video.
Rough.
Like we want to see yeah, they definitely didn't have real football players or basketball players or whoever choreographed those scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we want people or they
like Joe Kane just got out of rehab. It's like he's never thrown a football before.
That's right, yeah. Or like, no, they did have a choreographer, not a football player choreograph those scenes, So, that kind of thing. Give us what do you think? let us know. So give us some comments and share this with your friends. Clint,
Bye, everybody.
see you, man.
Bye.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come.